Hello everyone, it is more Pacific Northwest. Now, I have one thing that I want to share with everyone today, and it's a question. What you gonna do? Now, when I was a kid, my mother told me she thought I was gonna be a preacher. And I thought, that is the craziest thing in the world. So, what you gonna do? When you have a ringing in your ear that sounds like a siren and you can't turn it off, what you gonna do? When the doctors tell you that you have a rare cancer that you have a likelihood of making it 5 years is 30%, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when somebody tells you that you're not smart enough to teach this class? What you gonna do? Now listen, when I say this, what you gonna do, you have choices. And that is this. You can listen to the noise, or you can move ahead. Now, I'm gonna tell you my choice. I decided to move ahead when the doctors told me we got to give you a feeding tube because you can't swallow. You know what I said? I ain't gonna listen to that. I taught myself how to swallow. I turned the noise off. And when I had a pain so painful, have you ever experienced pain that was so painful and there was nothing you could do about it? There's no medication, there's nothing you can do except deal with it. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you fall asleep at the red light and cars are honking? What you gonna do? Well, I'm going to tell you what I did, guys. And let me just say this. I'm done with what you're going to do. I've painted a really negative picture of things that happen, but they turn out to be the most positive things that ever happened to me. I call this theater of the mind, because whatever you do is your choice. So, now let me just tell you, I've painted this negative picture in my life. Well, I'm going to show you how this negative picture is in your life, too. You just might not realize it. Here's what I'm getting at. Here's what neuroscientists know, that we have about 90,000 thoughts a day. 90,000. The thing is, we have no idea what they are, and 90% of them are negative, which means that tomorrow is based off of what you knew from the past. And if 90% of them is negative, that explains why you don't have the job you want. That explains why you don't drive the car that you want. Why you look at others and think, oh, I wish I had that, but I don't. I'm not good enough. And you know why? It's because from the time you was a kid, you were fed all the things that you were not good at, and you brought it. And you've been using those things since you were 7 years old, and you may be 60 years old. And the thing is, you're running on an old tape that's been automated. That's no lie. This is why most people are poor. Who doesn't want a better life for their family? I'm just saying. Thank you, Sister Jackson, the preacher coming out of me now. I'm just saying, being honest with you. Who doesn't want the best husband, the best wife, the best children? Some of that you can't control. But look, let me tell you, whenever there's something in your life that you're not happy with, you did that. It's not Trump, it's not the Democrats, it's not the Republicans, it's you. We don't have a chance to, I wonder what's going on here. Anyway, listen, we don't have a chance to decide who is going to be in our life and what they do, but you do have a choice in how you respond to it. Now, I'm going to give you guys an example. I'm going to tell you something that's very important. When you think this doesn't bother you and affect you, suppose you get in your car, right? You get in your car, and there's static on the radio, right? You got your favorite song playing. It's beating, it's bumping. You got your head rocking, but the static is so loud, you can't enjoy the song. What you gonna do? I tell you what, maybe you turn the radio off. Well, suppose the static stays. What you gonna do? You can turn the car off. Well, you don't go anywhere. What you gonna do? Now, guys, I'm not lying about this. That static is those 90,000 thoughts that we have every day. Now, look, guys, I am a cybersecurity network administrator. I'm a teacher for the last 25 years, and I'm going to tell you, I break things. I learn how things go together, and I break them. And what I'm trying to tell you is I found ways to break that static. I do. So for the last 2 months, I created my own course, and I've been teaching only the people that's close to me, sharing what I've learned, all those things I said about me and cancer and all that is true. Most doctors would have thought I would have been dead by now. Oh yeah, can't swallow, lost my eyesight, went blind in one eye, and you know what? I am still happy. I'm happy. And not just, I'm happy. I found love for Greg. And you know what? I think I'm going to share this with everyone because everyone deserves to know that they're more than they think they are. And you don't need church. Let me just say this much, guys. I grew up in a very religious family. I believe in God. But look, I believe in Greg. I'm just saying. Look, I believe that, and now here's the neuroscience. Here's the science part. This is the science part in me. Scientists, neuroscience know that our conscious mind has about 40 bits of information can handle. This is what we do. Handle 40 bits. All right. Now, look, let me just say this much. 40 bits is large enough to handle, let's say, every blade of grass. That's how big it is. If you can imagine it, every blade of grass on Earth, there's one on or off bit that can handle that. Now, when you talk about 128 bits, I know this is, hey, look, I'm a teacher, I said that. 128 bits is larger than anything on our universe. Anything. It's larger than all the stars, all the atoms. It's larger than anything. Only 128. Well, scientists have suggested, neuroscience says that we have our subconscious, got this, can handle 11 million. 11 million. So if you can imagine, if 128 bits is larger than anything in our universe, could you imagine what 11 million would do? Well, look, guys, every time you move one bit, it doubles. You know what, guys? That put us in godlike territory. Science. Now, I don't want to offend anyone, Well, I'm telling you the truth. Is that when you look at the capacity and the ability of our minds, and you realize that, you know what, we can do more than we ever thought was possible. But you know, from the time we were kids, from the time we were children, we have been taught right and wrong, left and right, up and down. How do you know? If someone didn't tell you, the only other way you can do it is by experiencing it. So I'm here to tell you guys, look, we are more powerful. Science says that. I'm not making it up. Science says that. So this is why I'm here to share. I'm here to share with you guys this. When the static is on your radio and you change the station, you gotta realize that whatever you tune into, you did that. You know, you tuned into the radio, right? So when you turn it down to 97.3, you're going to get whoever else is turned into 97.3. So when things are not going right in your life, when you are experiencing difficulties or joy, you know what you did? You did that. You tuned into a radio station that did that. You did that. So if you were having issues in your life, you know what? You did that. And here's what we know, and I'm going to end with this today. But I decided that I'm going to share this because you know what? We all have a gift. Everyone has a gift. And my gift is I break things. I break everything. I enjoy breaking things. You know? It hadn't always worked out great, but you know what? I learned. That's what a learner does. You break things and you learn. So I'm going to continue to share what I know that works. And I'm going to tell you that, yes, I'm more happy, more positive, because I realize that someday you're going to die. You too. And when you accept that you're going to die someday, and you don't know when, you can begin to live. You can live. You're going to die. So why don't you learn to love yourself and live for today? Not tomorrow, not in a year, not 10 years, not in the past, but live today. Find some joy and happiness and peace in what you have, your gift. And if you can learn how to tap into that 11 million bits of information that God gave you, I'm not lying. I know. You know, and I can give you scenario after scenario how how quantum physics can prove that, you know, individuals who make contact with other individuals across the world simultaneously, you know, they know it happens at the same time when someone is going to call you and you know they're going to call before they call. How do you think that happens? I'm just saying. Look, those are things that we have access to if we quit and realize that, you know what, maybe everything that we learned when we were a kid, it's not the world. It's not the entirety of our life. We have to continue to learn and continue to believe that you are powerful. We are. I do believe that. And I know we're going to die. And at the same time, I didn't begin to live until I accepted that fact. Now, I love Greg. I always beat Greg up before I didn't do. I love him now. I accept the fact that this is what I do. And I love that. So, anyway, guys, I am done now, and I want to tell you that I love everybody. I love everybody. No matter what you did or didn't do to me in my life, I love you still. You know, so I will check out now, and I will see you guys on this side this time, not on the other side. Have a good day.